This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 27 of the Healthy Critters Radio on the Horse Radio Network. Healthy Critters Radio is brought to you by Biostar US. Find them online at biostarus.com.
On today's show, we have Marjorie Farabee from TMR Rescue in Texas talking about vaccinations on donkeys, mules, and horses. Breed of the show is the Puli. Hedwig talks about going to holiday parties. Critter Nutrition focuses on healthy food for joints. And in Coffee Clatch, we decide which characters each other represents in real life.
I thought we were chit-chatting. I thought I had no idea. When you got it, was damn it.
I do have a drama.
Give us your drama.
Sabi got all of a sudden really so sick like you couldn't touch him, and he walked sort of like he was drunk, and he wouldn't get out of the car, and then he threw up. So I rushed him to the vet, and he had some kind of plant or mold poisoning, they think from a mushroom. And they filled him full of fluids. Then I'd take him to the emergency vet for the night, and they pumped him full of charcoal. He had a temperature of 104.
Wow.
And I mean, he was so neurological. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And then, like 4 hours later, temperature down to 101. He's up walking. I mean, the turnaround was so incredibly fast. Picked him up the next day. He was like, hey, I'm cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
Everything okay with you? But the funny part about it was this emergency vet, when I came to pick him up, he said, well, we're pretty sure it's a plant toxin. It could be a mushroom spore. We just had rain. And I said, God, I've never seen him munch on a mushroom. And he said, do you have any neighbors that have teenage kids? You know what?
Wow.
No. And he said, well, it could be marijuana. I said,
Oh, boy.
there is no way this dog would get into somebody's pot plant. But I thought that was so...
Oh, my gosh.
I wouldn't have been in my top 50 of possible contaminants.
Well, yeah, I can totally see a dog getting into a mushroom because they're earthy, they're close to the ground. There might have been something they smelled with,
He chomped some grass. There were some spores loose.
I can totally see that.
And we are next to a cow farm. So
plenty of mushroom fodder there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Psilocybin mushrooms grow on cow dung. So, I mean, the way he was acting, it was so bizarre. But thank
bless
goodness
his heart.
Why don't dogs ever do these sorts of things during the day, during the week, during regular business hours?
Oh, because
he did. I was in the middle of a meeting. Yes.
Oh, well, that was nice of him.
Well,
Sabi is a giver.
Yeah, he is.
He was very considerate.
He is a giver.
He is a giver. And how's your little guy?
He is doing great. He's actually looking at me right now thinking it's time for him to go out. He says it's puppy time out, but he's been awesome. He's so well behaved.
Remind everybody who we're talking about here, Patty.
We're talking about Berkey Boots, little Berkey Boots. He's a little Australian Shepherd puppy, and he is he's pretty adorable. I love to send Tigger pictures throughout the week.
I still have no pictures of Berkey. Hello.
Oh, okay. I will put them up for you because I will send them to you because he really is adorable.
He is adorable.
Oh my gosh. And he just sits there and he cocks his head. And it's interesting because sometimes he wants to sit in my lap when I'm teaching. And when I start to yell, it's too much for, like, if I have to yell at somebody, like get loud or not yelling. And he has to get down. He's like, he gets down on the ground. And he just sits there and looks at me. It's just, he's just adorable. He's adorable. He's adorable.
So what so far, what I mean, you've had a lot of different dogs. Where does he, in terms of easy raising?
He is, because I have so many other dogs, it's always hard to have a puppy. He's incredibly bright. He is joyful. The most
Yeah.
joyful puppy I can think I've ever had. Like he just comes running through the like leaping like a butterfly. It's sort of like he did something the other day. I looked at Hannah and I said, "Did you see him like completely go through the air just there, like out of the corner of your eye, and land on Henley?" It's kind of like he's just very joyful. But because he's so happy all the time, it's a little hard to know how to correct him because I don't want to smash this spirit of his, but he is boisterous. Like he's like, that door, if there's a crack open, I'm going to blast through it because I am super joyful dog. So that part's been a little bit of a learning curve for me because it's different because I've had cattle dogs where it's just sort of like you can kind of bonk them on the head and they go, oh yeah, right, no problem. But he's like, you don't want to injure the wing of this little joyful butterfly. So I have to take time away from all the other dogs to really make a point on something so I can take my time. But he's already, he sits and he stays, and he waits for his food, which is not easy. And we're working on our down, and he's got, I am super cute, look at me pose down. I mean,
Have you gotten to leave it yet?
No, not really. He's still a little young for that because he's just really probably 14 weeks.
Okay.
But I can't, but he will, I'll throw something. He's barking at me now. I'll throw something and he'll bring it back and I can say, drop it and stuff like, I mean, it is amazing. You do something like, 5 times and the next time you go to do it again, he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. So he's very, very bright. But he's fluffy and he's super cute. He's very fluffy, very fluffy. It's just so fluffy. And what's that? That's from Monsters Inc. Actually.
No, that's from Despicable Me.
He's so fluffy.
Oh God, I can't
yes.
even know that, Tigger. That is so funny.
It's the unicorn.
That is so fun.
That's right. He's
yeah,
so
you're
fluffy.
Right. Yeah, right. You're right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah,
there we go.
So
well,
there you go.
That's pretty exciting.
And we're here with Marjorie Farabee from the TMR Rescue in Plantersville, Texas. And Marjorie has a fascinating story about her rescue. They rescue donkeys and horses. And the reason
mules.
I got to...
Can't forget the mules.
Sorry. Forgot the mules. And she has a very compelling story of her rescue and what happened when they started doing a series of vaccinations. So we're really happy to have you here, Marjorie. Welcome to Healthy Critters, and please tell our listeners your story with your rescue and vaccinations.
Okay, I will. We have almost 400 donkeys, mules, and horses at TMR Rescue. It stands for Texas Miracle Ranch.
Wow.
And we thought the gold standard was giving everybody vaccinations, which we proceeded to do. It was this summer, 2 years ago. And so we did them in groups, and we would probably do maybe 40 each day that we were doing this. We got through about 230 of them when we started noticing the first ones getting really sick. We had seen the normal adverse reactions of being sore and feeling icky, the following days, but this was different. What started to happen was they were picking up anything that was in the atmosphere. We had one donkey, Dr. Watson. He was the one that really made us aware that there was something really terribly, terribly wrong. He started to bleed through his gums. Oh. We took him in, and he literally bled to death through his teeth. It took
oh my gosh.
It took 2 days. It took 2 days. And still there was, nobody knew what the cause was. And then in the following days and weeks, I was starting to bring them in, sometimes 6 at a time. That's how many were falling ill. In the end, we ended up with over 60 of our animals affected. We lost 14. And we did everything. We had our feed analyzed. We checked our pastures for poisonous or noxious weeds. We We had even the hay analyzed. We had the pastures analyzed. We did necropsies, and we sent off all kinds of reports to UC Davis, Kansas State, and Texas A&M. And the final results came back as being they had an acute chemo event. In other words, what happens is it affects them at the bone marrow level. So the bone marrow produces both white cells and red cells. They are alive in the system for 21 days before they start to die off and need to be replaced. So it actually depends on just how badly affected the bone marrow is as to how quickly they succumb to vaccinosis. So if they had, if they have a mild impairment, we have a few that even had their intestinal walls affected. To this day, we still have trouble keeping weight on those individuals, and we have to bring them in and keep them in the barn in the wintertime because they just don't do well. And they're young. They're only 2 years old. We had one that died from meningitis. We had one that another one that bled to death through his nose, even after a complete blood transfusion. We had another one that got the blood transfusion, and he survived. So there was no rhyme nor reason to who lived and who didn't. We have a beautiful, wonderful show stallion. He's placed in the top 5 at the World Show Congress, and he's still fighting for his life today.
Gosh.
He was stricken with laminitis. We've tried everything. We've used Postscope 360. We've used laser. We've used diet, of course. And that's how we met, right?
Yep.
We had him using water treadmill. And now what they're doing is they've actually got him in braces in the front, trying to lift all of his weight off of his feet. And we're going to completely debride the front of the feet so the feet can start growing correctly. And then we're going to be using needles to go right up following the tendons, trying to break up the bunching in the needles. So he's still, the jury's still out if he's going to survive. I absolutely love this horse. And so anyway, we're really trying hard to have Rodeo make it. We lost a lot of really special individuals. Raven was one, Manny. I mean, I don't even want to think about all the names that we lost.
So Marjorie, excuse me, but what were the vaccinations? Were you giving one? Were you giving a series?
Well, here's the thing. When they finally stopped being in denial and saying it was something else, because here's what happens. People have 1 or 2 horses generally, and they get their vaccine, and 30 days later, 2 months later, suddenly their animal gets sick and it dies. And they absolutely do not pair that event with the vaccination event, when in fact that's probably right. They don't. But it was because we had so many, and it was, and the shots were done all, everybody was done at the same time, and everybody was getting sick at the same time, that they had to look at it. And when the pharmaceutical companies started to talk to us, and we were calling them back and forth, they said that they tell the veterinarians that they're not supposed to do them all the time. I said, well, that should be big red letters, because clearly there's a problem. There's a problem. And then, of course, we couldn't blame any pharmaceutical because they were all given at once. So you couldn't blame anybody. Everybody got a skate. Everybody got off the hook.
Wow.
We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to save these animals, and nobody is accountable.
That's devastating.
So it is, and that's the whole thing. So now our protocol is, of course, I'm anal about quarantine, and if they're healthy enough, they get their first vaccination, which is the tetanus shot, and then a month later they'll get their rabies, and then I start looking at what is in the area, what is being discussed as being a problem in the area, and then they'll get a vaccine for that 30 days later. It's a matter of spreading it out. They are all preserved in different antibiotics and different adjuvant, I think is what they call it, but they're all different preservatives.
Exactly.
And so that's the problem, is that each pharmaceutical company has a different adjuvant, and then that is part of what sets them up for the adverse reaction.
Right.
It's a devastating thing to have happen. And people just, they really don't make the connection. Because if the bone marrow is completely depleted, you're going to see this reaction within 3 weeks. If it's only mildly or partially damaged, then you're going to see it 2 months, 3 months later. They're going to pick up any pathogen that's in the air. They don't have any white cells, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're able to get past that, then they're not reproducing the red cells, then they'll get, it's a very, very long word. It's a really long word, but it describes bleeding to death. So,
oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord.
It was
can
hard.
you tell our listeners about what you currently do? I mean, you are a rescue. You're in Texas. If people would like to support you and learn more about what you do, can you tell us a little bit about your rescue?
Yeah, we have a website, www.tmrrescue.com. That's really the best way to find us. We also have a Facebook page, TMR Rescue. TMR Rescue Inc. Did I put TMR? I can't remember. I mean, I go to it every day, and I can't remember if I have Inc. or TMR Rescue only. But you'll find it, and you can find it from the website too. So you can click it right. There's a link that takes you right to the Facebook page on the website. We started out originally. We were going to raise high-end mules. We were going to show them and train them and sell them. And then we learned about the slaughter industry, and we realized that they could never be safe. I mean, we could sell our beautiful animal to Susie, and Susie's fine, but Susie sells to Joe, and Joe's a kill buyer. We could never guarantee their safety, and until the SAFE Act is passed, we never will be able to guarantee that. So that happened, and then we had the Texas drought. We took in over 100 donkeys in 1 year because in Texas there's a lot of donkeys in Texas, and they're used as guard animals. They receive no training. They don't get any veterinary care. Their hooves are not taken care of. They're there to do a job, and that's to watch the cattle. When the cattle went, the donkeys went. They were just dropping them off anywhere, just leaving them out. So it was. I mean, our path was kind of chosen for us, and we haven't looked back. It's been a wonderful journey. You know, there are some sad times, but mostly joyful. As a matter of fact, here tonight I'm at a meet and greet for one of our little donkeys. His name is Benny. He was 39 pounds when he was rescued. He had 10% chance of survival. His bladder burst. He was at Texas A&M for a very, very long time, and here he is now. He's 2.5 years old, and just he's the light of the party. So
yeah,
you need a donkey.
Yes, with all my
they're like little dogs. They're amazing. They have such
I'm looking at your
intelligence.
Facebook page right now, and I see the picture of Benny with Santa.
Yeah, that was last year. We're gonna have the same Santa this year, and he's got a different costume on. So
that's pretty cute. That is pretty cute. Now, where did you say you were in Plano?
Plantersville. Plano is up north. We're down near Houston. We're
okay, because I'm in
Yeah.
Houston as well. I'm
okay,
right.
So you know where Magnolia is, Conroe?
Yes, of course. Yes.
The Texas Renaissance Festival. Do you know where that is?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
We're right behind the Renaissance Festival Fairground.
Well, awesome. Then we're neighbors. So we'll definitely have to make sure.
Well, come see us.
Yes, I will, because I'm looking at how cute these donkeys are. And Tigger, get it out of your head.
Well, I've got to tell you, they are not stubborn. They are not mean. These are all things that people use to describe them because they're not smart enough. They're not smarter than the donkey, so they just say the donkey's stupid. But the fact is that they're very risk adverse, and they're very aware of what their feet are touching. Their whole life is all about having security under their feet. These guys can climb up a sheer cliff just like a bighorn. They're very athletic. They can jump their height from a standstill, and they will do all of these things for you if they trust you. They don't trust you, and they think that you're putting them in danger. It'd take a front end loader to move them. They're not going to put themselves at risk. They're not.
This sounds like they're pretty smart.
And you have
They're
mules
very
there
smart.
too. Is that
We
right?
have mules too. Yes.
Is Flossie a mule or a donkey?
Flossie is a donkey. She's been
Oh my
virtually
gosh,
adopted by a lady that lives in Florida,
she's adorable.
and she does all these graphics and stuff for us. And she's had Flossie for a couple of years now, virtually adopted. So she's completely taken care of by this lady on our property. So it's
Isn't
kind
that
of
wonderful?
virtual adoption's pretty neat. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds
So
good.
she's
how
got
does that work? I mean,
Just gonna
let's
say,
just
yeah.
say
How does that work?
that we
Well,
decided we would
we
like to be the Healthy Critters adoptive parents of a donkey.
Okay, to just feed and do hay is $150 a month, and that would be a complete virtual adoption to us. I mean, it's icing on the cake if you want to help us with their farrier work and their dental work and veterinary care too. But a complete virtual adoption is $150. We do have some people that do partial.
Mm-hmm.
We have one donkey named Goblin, and her person sends $100 a month for her. So. Which is very nice. I mean, Goblin was that's another story. That's another story.
So, what kind of vet costs are you on a normal once they're in good shape? Obviously.
Yeah, they're in good shape. You have their teeth. The miniatures now. As you know, I'm being an equine person. Their teeth tend to be a little bit more deformed. So some of them actually need to be seen twice a year by a dentist.
Wow.
Okay.
But on average, once a year. And some of them never need to be floated. I mean, they do just fine. They look at their teeth and they go, they're fine.
Right.
But most of them, it's just like knocking off a little hook or a little sharp point or something like that. And then the farrier work, just like horses.
Okay.
Getting their farrier, getting their feet trimmed every 6 to 10 weeks, depending on how much they're moving around, how much they're wearing the feet down. So that would be, and then the warming, of course. So we worm 3 times a year. So that would be the basic cost.
Okay. Well, that's so interesting. It's really neat looking through this Facebook page. It is TMR Rescue Inc. If anybody,
it is okay. I couldn't remember if I put the ink on there or not.
Yep, no, but it's a great site for any of the listeners that want to go to it and help. And there's a donate button right on it, and you can look at all the.
And now is a good time to donate. Yes. This is sort of the end of the year, and
we are a registered 501c3 charity. So you will get a letter at the end of the year showing your donation, which is always nice for the tax man.
Yes.
So.
But it's also
we could really we became officially a certified rescue in 2014. So we are still learning all of the ropes about how to get corporations on board with us and that kind of thing. So we could really use a grant writer. If there's anybody out there that would like to donate some time to us as a grant writer, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, well, Healthy Critters listeners, any of you who are good at grant writing, please get hold of TMR Rescue. And Marjorie, it was such a pleasure to have you. I so honor the work you do, and we're all keeping our fingers crossed for rodeo that.
Yeah, well, let's hope that the supplements that you send help. It's all right now. He's got bunching in the tendons, and so we're trying to get those loosened up. And I'm just really hoping that the supplements will help.
Me too.
Me 3.
I'll give you a full report, I promise.
Okay. Thank you so much, and go back to your meet and greet and say hi to the donkeys.
Hey, and remember who was with Jesus on the day he was born and on the day he died.
It was a donkey. That's right.
That was a donkey.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Excellent
Thank
point.
you.
Merry Christmas to you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marjorie. Bye-bye. So, and on the dog topic, I think it's time for us to give Hedwig a call, and we're going to find out from Hedwig a little information about managing the holiday party season.
Yeah, with the servants.
Tips all dogs should know.
All dogs should know.
Truly. Truly.
Tickle.
Hello, Hedwig.
Oh, Jennifer this time?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Jennifer.
How are you, Hedwig?
Well, to be honest, I'm having quite a time.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it can happen to the best of us. How are you?
We are all wonderful, and we're so excited to speak with you this evening. We had a tough time getting through your human's telephone system, because that means the human must have dropped a ball technology-wise. So we're happy to have you.
Oh, the human.
The human. Well, our question for you this evening, Hedwig, is it's the holidays. And the holidays means lots of holiday parties, which means there are lots and lots of extra humans coming into the human home where you reside. And what we want to know is, where is the best place for the dogs who really do run the household and nobody asks them what they want? Where should they be hanging out during all of those holiday gatherings?
Well, this is such an interesting question. We rarely have people to our farm, but we often have parties at the apartment in New York. Now, I am not always present at those parties, but I can tell you, my sister, the horned dog, aka Thursday, the corgi, she says when there's a cocktail party, the very best place is right near the cheese tray, because then you get teeth.
How did we not see this coming? How did we not see this?
This was not a setup.
Yeah, I didn't even think of this. You are absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
to me.
Hetty, if you were in the apartment and over the holidays, and your servant had people over for a party, what would you do?
Oh, well, you might remember that in previous iterations of our time together, what I did was make my servant sit on the floor with me and feed me cheese so that I wouldn't be scared, because I might be scared if there were lots of people that were tall. So what I do is I bring the servant to my level, the appropriate height level, not the tall level that she is, which is wrong, just unnatural and freaky. You put the servant on the floor, and then if you want something, you gaze at it longingly, and you hope that she's paying attention. If she is not, because she's doing something rude, like talking to humans, your sister, Christabel, reaches up and gives her a solid slap on the face. Yes, very effective, very efficient slap on the face. And then she pays attention to where you and your sister are longingly gazing. Because at that moment, you will be the recipient of a delightful food item, such as ham or meatball or cheese or ham or steak or something lovely.
Well, I mean, you don't interact with any of the humans at the party?
If they have food.
And there you have it.
They bring tribute in the form of protein, snacks, and I grant them an audience. Perhaps they would like a question answered or my opinion on some matter. I am willing to do that, willing to extend myself toward them for a small snack. That's how generous I am.
Very, very generous.
Well, thank you very much, Hedwig. We appreciate your input, and we'll make sure that dogs throughout.
Don't tell that to the audience.
Yeah,
That's
dogs
right.
throughout know that the best place to be during holiday parties is near the cheese tray.
Near the cheese tray.
Good advice.
Or any meat products, but those are hard to come by in the vegetarian home.
Thank you, Hedwig.
Bye.
Take care, Hetty.
Bye, Hedwig.
And now it's time for the breed of the show.
So we're at the part of the show where we're going to talk about our breed of the show, and I chose to do a dog, and Tigger was pretty surprised at the breed. And I have no idea. I was like, Puli. So I have chosen Puli, and if any of the listeners have ever seen one, they're actually kind of cool. I've actually seen a Commodore, which is a larger version of this.
Yeah.
But a Puli is a small to medium-sized Hungarian water dog. It's a herding, livestock, and guardian dog, and they're known as the mop dog, which is, and also like I said, the
a nice way to put it.
Yeah, mop dog.
Old, dirty, ragged mop dog.
Yeah, exactly. But it's known for its
Rastaman dog.
It's a Rastaman dog. We can call him Marley. But it's known for its long corded coat, and they're not very common. I mean, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 ever in my life. Why are you laughing? Because they're not common. Anyway,
that is an understatement of the show.
Yeah, they are. They're just not very common, and that's why I thought it would be fun to do it. Because I'm sure there's people out there. Some of our listeners, if any of you have a Puli, you need to put on our Facebook page that you indeed know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
But so temperament. Very agile, obedient, very loyal, faithful, and energetic. Kind of like your basic type herding dog. I think they're very, very. They're very loyal. An
Australian Shepherd with dreadlocks.
Exactly. That's what I said to you today. And they're extremely confident. The females get to about 14 to 17 inches. The males 15 to 18. They're not very big. They're not very big. They come in several different colors: black, white, brindle, cream, brown, or silver. So they were introduced. And I'm not going to do this justice. By the Magyars, from Central.
Yeah, from Hungary.
Yeah, and about like 1,000 years ago, and they were very, like I said, they're very similar to the Commodores, which is a larger, which more people know about. But they, I guess they needed to breed down. They're not a Commodore, but they needed the same type of dog, because apparently these dogs are very, very. They're herded. They are natural herders. So you can take a Puli that has been in a family and put it out in a flock of lambs or goats, and they're going to know what to do, which is kind of interesting, because I know a lot of other breeds you sort of have to kind of point and go, no, go herd that in. So they're very naturally good herders. So they're solidly built. They have a thick coat which protects their skin. Their coat. Now this is interesting. I read 2 different things. It said their coat doesn't continually grow like a poodle, and it stays the length, and the cords stay the same once they're formed. Now I did read somewhere else that it actually says that you can trim their coats and they will grow back. So I'm not really sure what the case is about that. So if any of our listeners do have one and they can help us, I'd be very interested to learn more about that. As far as training, they're great energy. They're determined. They do need to be like any other herding breed. They do need to understand their obedience, and you need to start early, but they're extremely obedient and loyal if trained early.
If not,
but
you just have a rampant rag mop on your
mop
hands.
running through your house.
Yeah.
So your floor is either really dirty or clean. But the thing that I found so interesting is that they just sound like a decent breed. They reminded me a lot of the characteristics of the Australian Shepherd. They just want to be with their person. They are not. They really fell from popularity after World War II, and they were used so much in working homes, and then became more of a pet after that. But kind of an interesting breed. And like I said, the larger version of what I think a lot of people see more of are the Commodores, and then also another breed is a Kuvas that they referred to them a lot, which is another type of guardian breed. But I just kind of thought it was interesting. So my question is, Tigger, which I told you today, is I just wonder with their hair, because it's obviously very heavy, and the cords are supposed to be thin, not thick. It's like a whole thing when they're growing up. But I wonder if they smell.
Of course they do.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know, but they're just. I mean, have you looked up a picture of one? They're really.
Yes.
I think they're just sort of interesting.
Do they have eyes?
Yes, they do have ice
No.
underneath the cords. Underneath all those cords.
They're crazy looking. There are crazy looking dogs.
I said
They
to
are.
Patty today when she told me that she was going to do the Puli, I can't imagine a Puli climbing up on my couch to snuggle with me.
Yeah. That was kind of a very good, vivid point. But yeah, I don't know. I always found them kind of fascinating, and it's funny because, like I said, I've actually met a Commodore, and I've never met a Puli.
I've
So
met a couple,
yeah,
and they do look like sort of big sheep.
yeah. Did they smell?
I don't remember.
I mean, I wonder, and that's the other thing that I wanted, and I really couldn't find enough information about it. But I wonder, like, how you bathe them, and I mean, because I guess once the cords, you can kind of, as they're growing their corded coat, you groom them a certain way, and you help these cords. I don't know. It just seems like a whole lot of work.
I think we need a Puli expert, and you're right. You need to have invested in a professional groomer, methinks.
Yeah, but I think once they grow their coat and they do their deal, you can trim it. But then after that, there's not a lot to do, and they don't shed a lot, so they're good for people that have dog hair allergies.
No, they carry tiny livestock and vermin and flora and fauna into the house every time they go outside because it all sticks in there.
You can open up the side and look in their coat and say, "Oh, look, there's a little bird."
Yeah, you could toss a little grass seed on there and water the little bugger. Your horse can graze off your dog's back.
There you go. There you go.
Well, it's the Puli. There we go.
It's the Puli.
Hi, this is Jamie, Elva, and JP from production at Biostar. We have been busy elves in the Biostar kitchen making sure we have plenty of stocking stuffers for our healthy critters. We are so excited that we want to sing a song to everyone listening. We made Optimum liver treats, buckaroo stew, Biostar bites, colostrum to put in our holiday totes with Tigger's book too. Happy holidays from Biostar to you.
And we're at Critter Nutrition, and I'm actually going to read a chapter from the book Whole Food for Horses that I wrote.
Ooh, preview,
so
preview.
This is
You
the
heard
chapter.
it first here.
This is the chapter on feeding for joint health. Several years ago, a friend of mine had a total knee replacement. He had osteoarthritis from the bangs and blows of playing college football, not an activity known for supporting joint health. When I asked him how the recovery was going, his answer surprised me. The hardest part of recovering from this surgery has been my diet, he said. His surgeon and the sports medicine doctor had rather strongly recommended he change his eating habits by including more fruits and vegetables, less red meat, eliminating processed sugars, staying away from processed foods, drinking more water, adding more omega-3s to his diet, and losing at least 30 pounds through managed diet and exercise. The reason for all of these specific dietary recommendations in the wake of a knee replacement is apparent in the next several pages, because feeding and supplementing for maximum joint health can be accomplished by first understanding a few things about the body system and substances involved. Glucosamine sulfate is made when the body combines sulfur with the amino acid glutamine and a sugar molecule. The glycosaminoglycans and the hyaluronic acid backbone needed for the formation of the proteoglycans found in the structural matrix of joints. Long story short, if the body does not have enough glutamine or sulfur, it cannot make critically important glucosamine sulfate. Free radicals are unstable molecules that cause inflammation. They cause stiffness and pain in joints. Antioxidants bind with free radicals and control the oxidative stress and inflammation. Potent antioxidants include vitamin A and the carotenoids, vitamin C, vitamin E, the polyphenols, and the minerals zinc, copper, and selenium. Reducing inflammation, reducing free radical damage, and supporting the body's ability to make its own glucosamine sulfate can be supported with whole food and the diet a horse consumes. The first step is cutting down or eliminating processed sugars. This includes molasses, cane sugar, dextrose, and sucrose, often added to supplements. These kinds of sugars can aggravate and increase the inflammatory response. I also recommend caution with grain or grain byproduct carbohydrates, which can also increase inflammation in some horses. Omega-3 fatty acids are very helpful in reducing chronic inflammation. Flax and chia seeds are both excellent sources of omega-3s, as is pasture grass. Commercial feeds will often have an inverted ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, so it is important to know what the particular ratio is in the feed you are using. If necessary, you can add flax or chia to the feed to balance the ratio. Chia seeds prove to be fantastic joint supplements because chia is high in the amino acid proline and lysine. Proline and lysine are both needed to make collagen, which helps to heal cartilage and cushion the joints and vertebrae. Note that chia seeds from Ecuador and Bolivia are very high in boron and strontium, important trace minerals that have been leached from the soils in North America. Boron has been shown to reduce the excretion of calcium and to increase the absorption of calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Strontium is believed to increase bone formation, bone mass, and strength. Cabbage is high in the amino acid glutamine, which the body needs to make glucosamine sulfate. In addition, it can provide vitamin C, copper, and selenium. Feed 1/4 to 1/2 cup per day, and remember that horses prefer cabbage chopped, not fed as whole leaves. Freeze-dried and dehydrated cabbage can be fed as an alternative to fresh. Kale is high in sulfur, which the body uses to make glucosamine sulfate and helps support connective tissue and cartilage. Kale is also high in the antioxidants vitamin A, vitamin C, and copper. Feed 1/4 to 1/2 cup per day, chopped, not whole. Freeze-dried and dehydrated kale can be fed as an alternative to fresh. Alfalfa is another high sulfur source. It provides the antioxidants vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc. Please note that alfalfa has become a major GMO crop. If your horse has chronic joint issues, it would be best to feed an organic source of alfalfa or a non-GMO source. Pomegranates that are food processed, including the peel, and strawberries, which you need to wash thoroughly because they can be highly sprayed if they're not organic, are among the phytonutrient foods that provide anti-inflammatory action in the body. Inflammatory Benefits of Pomegranate, published in 2009, highlights that pomegranate reduces the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, interleukin-6 and interleukin-8. These particular cytokines contribute to painful joint damage and chronic inflammation. Other antioxidant foods that should be fed and enjoyed in the pursuit of better joint health include blueberries, oranges with the peel, almonds, sliced or ground, mangoes without the pit, blackberries, pears, carrots, sunflower seeds, nutritional yeast, specific medicinal mushrooms, and apples. Among the best anti-inflammatory foods are flax, chia, turmeric, boswellia, bromelain, hemp seed oil, and oregano. Studies show that 60% of all equine lameness is related to osteoarthritis, a result of the physical breakdown of articular cartilage that can affect any horse at any age. It can be the result of repeated cycles of athletic trauma, inflammation of the lining of the joint and the capsule, normal aging process, or OCD. Osteoarthritis is not curable, but it is manageable. Movement is critical to joint health and dealing with osteoarthritis. Circulation is the body's way of sending specific nutrients and cofactors to areas that need support. Specific foods that increase nitric oxide, the master circulatory molecule in the body, can be extremely helpful in increasing joint health and mobility. These foods include nutritional yeast, oranges, Indian gooseberry, pumpkin seeds, and sesame seeds. Other foods with vasodilating activity, which means increasing the blood flow, include ginger, parsley, and schizandra. Well, whole food supplements are readily available that will provide cabbage, kale, chia, strawberry, and pomegranate for total joint support, as well as nutritional yeast, oranges, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and ginger root for increased circulation. Note that the glucosamine sulfate used in most commercial supplements is derived from shellfish and is very unstable. It requires the addition of stabilizers. These are commonly sodium chloride or potassium chloride, which can end up being 30% of glucosamine by weight. This means that if a product label says 3,000 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate, you must subtract 900 milligrams, 30%, to know the actual amount of glucosamine you are feeding. You can extend the life of common equine joint injections with diet. I have found that horses that have been injected routinely twice a year can begin going a year or more on a single injection. This is because a whole food diet puts less stress on the GI tract, providing the body with more time to heal and repair. Remember, stress reduces available healing time, and the body can only repair and heal when it is at rest and not overworking to digest processed feed. MSM is a sulfur-rich compound commonly found in commercial joint supplements. It is a natural substance created when phytoplankton from the ocean decomposes and releases compounds to the atmosphere, which react with oxygen and sunlight to produce the final product. Plants and animals take in sulfur by using the MSM and other sulfur compounds that come from the atmosphere. However, the MSM used in equine joint supplements is made from petroleum waste and methane gas. It is not harvested from the ocean or from the atmosphere, making the bioavailability vastly different. Because of this, the better route is to provide your animals with a potent whole food plant source of sulfur, which is kale. By incorporating organic kale, we not only provide sulfur, but also the vitamins A, C, K, fiber, carotenoids, flavonoids, calcium, magnesium, and copper.
There once was a company named Biostar
who wouldn't use ingredients from coal tar
They made supplements from Whole Foods
for the increased health and good mood
of all your healthy critters near and far.
It's time for Coffee Klatch. And our very amusing title or topic today is we're going to pick fictional or cartoon characters of each other and as well as ourselves. And we're going to share what we think each other would be as a fictional character, based not on looks, of course, but on our personalities.
Correct.
So, Patty P,
Yes.
you want to start us off?
Well, now, are we going to do this where we're doing ourselves and then I choose both of you because I have
We do
myself.
ourselves last.
Okay. I would like to start with Jennifer.
Oh no! Why do you always start with me?
Well, I don't know. I don't know
You're
how to answer
special.
that because you're special. And I I have chosen the fictional character of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh my gosh!
And I don't know why that delights me, and I have no idea why I chose it, other than the fact that I don't know. I just think that would be perfect.
That's
Because-
really funny.
Yeah.
It's
That
kind
is
of
very fun.
it's rather ironic because as a kid I used to watch the original Bewitched.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
And
yeah.
I-
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, in the original iteration, Sabrina was. I don't think she was even in the first couple of seasons. I always wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
Bewitched. I always wanted to be her. I could do the little nose thing when I was a kid. I
See?
was utterly obsessed.
See, I'm onto something.
You are. Yes.
Onto something.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm dying to know who Tigger is.
Oh, Lord only knows. Okay. Oh, I do Tigger's too?
Yes, you do Tigger too.
Okay. Well, I had an initial one, but then I've chose something else. I've decided that Tigger would be, and this isn't really truly a fictional character, but Tigger is Siri. Siri can iPhone. And Tigger, you can tell people why, because she's constantly being able to answer questions, and you just have to push a little button, and Tigger can answer the question. She's like Google. I know that doesn't really fit into the parameters of what you said, but come on.
It doesn't at all. I was thinking of something a little bit more, I don't know, characterish, not
fine.
something technological.
Okay,
Well, yeah,
fine.
that is kind of funny that she's Siri for Tigger. Who anybody who knows Tigger knows that Tigger is anything but technology. Yeah,
Technological.
don't
That's
get much
true.
more organic than Tigger.
but she can't answer most anything.
But she
And if she
can.
doesn't know the answer,
Do you-
she goes to her
Do you
little
watch
iPhone.
what's that TV series on The Good Place?
Who?
The Good Place with
Uh-uh.
oh, there's a TV show called The Good Place, and it's on it's on NBC. I think it's on hiatus right now. But it's about this fictional place where everybody who's good goes, and they have a Siri, and it's an actual physical character, and she's like
Oh,
a
that's
Siri.
so funny.
And you say, "Hey, what's her face?" And her name isn't Siri. And they make this funny little pink noise, and she appears next to you, and you ask her
Oh.
anything,
Oh,
and she answers it. Well, somebody accidentally erased her memory. It's really
oh
funny.
my gosh,
Yeah, so you
That's
should tune into
too
The
funny.
Good Place. It's pretty funny.
The Good Place. Okay, I got a bunch of TV shows I want to watch
Kristen
now.
Bell and Ted Danson are in it, and they're really
Oh,
quite funny.
okay.
Ah.
It's really quite funny. Yes, you should do that. So there we go. Now, Patty P, who are you?
Yes. The Tasmanian Devil.
I actually thought about that one for you, and I said, no.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I just thought, yeah, kind of hectic. It kicks up a lot of dirt and does a whole lot of nothing, and it spends a whole lot of time doing it. I just thought that was me.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay.
So, I I had 3 for each of you
Oh, of course.
because I couldn't come up with just one. So, Patty, I had you as Elaine from Seinfeld.
Okay.
Rhoda from Mary Tyler Moore.
Rhoda, yes. Oh my gosh.
And Rebecca Howe from Cheers.
Rebecca Howe. Which one's that? Rebecca.
Christy Alley.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see
And
that.
Jennifer, I picked Monica on Friends for you.
Oh, which one's Monica?
Oh, that's good. Oh, Ross's sister,
The dark-haired one.
the dark-haired
The
one.
chef, the cook, the very
The-
organized.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure
They're
everything
very
is-
organized.
Roz, the radio producer from
Oh, yes. Rod. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Roz is perfect.
What TV show is it from?
Frasier.
Oh.
Frasier.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. I can see Frasier. There you go.
Yep.
And the third one you probably haven't seen yet because it's new. It's People of Earth. But I have you as the psychologist Gina Morrison.
We have to watch that one now.
Yeah, that actually kind of fits with what I currently do for a living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies sitting there talking to people who think they've been abducted by aliens. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
And who I think I am as a fictional character, Snoopy.
I said Snoopy. That's
No,
so
you
funny.
said the Tasmanian Devil.
No, I said Snoopy for you. That's so funny. After I said Siri, I have literally sitting on my thing. I was like, Snoopy. That is so funny.
That's hilarious.
Okay, Jennifer.
All right, here we go. Tigger, you're first. And you are Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Perfect. That's better than Snoopy.
You are Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
That's perfect. It's perfect.
There we go.
That means that Patty, you're Bullwinkle.
There you go.
No, I kind of thought about that. Would you be Bullwinkle? But I didn't think you were Bullwinkle.
Okay.
I think you have more leadership skills than that. You are Underdog.
Underdog.
Underdog, yes. Speed of lightning, power of thunder.
Hey. And I look like Snoopy. Underdog. Yeah, I think
And
that's good.
You're humble. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I like Underdog. That's a whole lot of puppy. Okay, who are you?
I'm Roz from Monsters Inc.
Oh, I love her.
Want to hear my Roz impression? I love my Roz
Oh,
impression.
I do.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm watching, always watching.
But you forgot to say his name.
Oh,
Wachowski.
Wachowski. I'm watching, always watching.
Okay, who else thinks it's unbelievable that Tigger knew that was one part of that line? Because I've watched that movie 3 times and I wouldn't have remembered that. Oh,
Because
God.
I've watched it 23 times.
Yep.
I know you have. I know
Yes.
you have.
I
and just a little
animation
doorway
is
into
my
Tigger.
favorite. Huh?
Just a little bit of a doorway into Tigger.
What? And on a side note, we'll make this one quick because we're going to run long. What movie have you watched the most number of times, Tigger?
It's a toss-up between Gone with the Wind, Star Wars, the first movie, and The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my gosh.
How about you, Patty? What movie have you watched
Definitely
the most?
Gone with the Wind. And then I would say, oh my gosh, what's the Godfather?
Really?
Oh,
Well, it's one of Peter's favorites, and then I always go, oh my gosh, and then we sit down and start watching. I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah. And then any Disney movie, oh my gosh, because whatever movie either one of the girls was in, oh my gosh, Cinderella, or I mean, just any of those, we watched thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Yes.
Okay,
How about you,
you?
It's a tie between The Wizard of Oz and WALL-E.
Oh, I love WALL-E.
I've watched WALL-E probably 25 times. Every time I find it, I put it, I DVR'd it, and I watch it again. I love WALL-E.
What's Wally?
What?
Wally?
WALL-E.
WALL-E.
Eva.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, you got to look it up. WALL-E. Excellent movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And Wizard of Oz is only is close just because it's been on longer.
Right.
So there we go.
I'm
And the Sound of Music could be up there too.
I didn't watch the full Sound of Music until Tigger made me watch it. She made me, my very first freestyle I ever did was a Grand Prix freestyle, and she said, Patty P, you're going to do the Sound of Music. And I was like, what? That's so not me. And then when I watched the movie, oh my gosh.
That's an excellent upcoming topic for Coffee Clutch.
Oh.
What movie soundtrack would you like to use for a freestyle?
Freestyle, yeah. Well, mine's the Sound of Music.
Star Wars isn't allowed in, Tigger.
Yeah. Oh,
damn.
Because that's too obvious. You're going to have to this has to make you think at least a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I make freestyles, so this becomes even more challenging.
Well, that just means you have an advantage over us, because we're going to pick something dumb.
No, it just means I've used a lot of movies.
No, it means is that I'm just going to pick something she's already done for me.
No. We could make it really hard, and you have to pick an animated film.
Okay.
Make it really hard. What animated film would you like to use the soundtrack for?
I've got the answer to that.
Okay, so we're going to do that on upcoming Coffee Clutch. And everybody, where is the Facebook page that they can go to give us their ideas for what animated film should be a freestyle?
Healthy Critters Radio.
Dang, you're so clever.
I know. I am.
Love your dog.
Hug your horse.
Feed your chickens.
Clean your litter box.
Dance with your goat.
Slither with your snakes.
Howl at the moon.
Hang with your hamster.
Party with your parrot.
Waddle with your walrus.
Outwit your otter.
Cuddle your cows.
Rap with your raptor.
Go chipping with your chickmunks.
And forgive your fox.
While hedging with your hog.
We also recommend that you rack with your raccoon.
Gyrate with your giraffe.
Meditate with a meerkat.
Uber with an orangutan.
Facebook with your flamingo.
Ponder with your panda.
Walk with your Wookiee.
Yawn with your yak.
And Twitter with your toucan.